So please welcome the very mad, the very brave and the very wonderful Deborah Goodman.
So when I was growing up, I was living under this black cloud of HD, hanging over me like a big black cloud. I never thought about my future. I never imagined myself at this age. I always feared the worst, which is a very negative way to think, but that's how it was. That they didn't discover the gene until I was 30. So I couldn't have had a test, and I haven't had the test because I'm still scared. Even though I'm 51, I'm still scared of having a test, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay. I was crying all the time. I was petrified. I was scared. Every time I went to visit my dad in hospital, and also his sister had HD as well. When I went to visit them, I could see my future. And also I was really upset for my dad. It broke my heart, and then all the fears came up again. And it was a really difficult time. You know, I wouldn't say my life was bad. I really had a good time, but underneath it all was this underlying fear and this sadness. And I shed many, many tears through my life, especially when I was on my own, because that's when I couldn't push the feelings down anymore. My dad died, and that was quite a difficult time in my life. I had 3 brothers and 1 sister. 2 of my brothers, Philip and Nigel, both were diagnosed with Huntington's disease. My brother Nigel was a very kind and caring and loving man, like my dad, right up until the illness really got a hold of him. He was in denial of the illness, but he knew something was wrong. He started drinking, he became alcoholic. He was trying to starve himself and drink himself to death, basically. He'd always said, as did I, we would not want to live with this illness if we were diagnosed with Huntington's disease. We always said we would not live with it. Nigel always said he would shoot himself, and I totally understood that. I never thought about what I would do, but I knew I would do something. Nigel was tested positive in 1999, and on his birthday in March 2002, about 6 months later, in 2000, it was his birthday, and he was in the hospital. We'd had him sectioned a few times, and he'd always tell us off, why did you do that? You know, they'd dry him out, they'd send him home, the cycle happened again, he would drink, he would starve. And it was his birthday. My mum, who visited him regularly, she took him out for his birthday, but he insisted he wanted to go back to his flat, and he could really be insistent when he wanted to. And my mum took him back to his flat because it was his birthday. She wanted to give him what he wanted, and they opened his cars, they sang happy birthday, and then he told her that he had been given a present by his friend, and he went into the bedroom, he came out and he had some heroin, and he said to my mum, this is the best birthday present, get emotional, that I could ever have. Don't let me leave this flat alive. Promise me, Mum, that you will not let me leave this flat alive. And it's more time. Okay. So, it was his choice. It wasn't my mum's choice, it was his choice. And she stayed with him, and he took the heroin, and they talked, and they sang happy birthday, and they talked about his life, and he said, I've had a good life, Mum. He had a lot of friends, he had a lovely girl, friends. He said, I've had a really good life. I don't want to live with this illness. This is the best thing. She said, okay. So he took the heroin, they lay down, they talked, and they fell asleep. And after about 4 or 5 hours, when she woke up, he was barely alive, and she just thought, I can't do it. Stop it. I can't do this anymore. And she took the pillow and she put it on his head, and that was it. And he's my crying buddy. And she stayed with him for about half an hour. She rang the emergency services and said, my son has taken an overdose of heroin. And was that? So my mum has never regretted what happened, and initially she was charged with murder. But once they did post-mortem on my brother, they found that actually there was no evidence of suffocation at all. He was so close to death. And they changed the charge to aiding and abetting a suicide. But my mum felt that she was very alone in that situation, and that, you know, it shouldn't really, should it have come to that? Should she have had to deal with that on her own? You know, it's a big topic. Anyway, so my mum was sentenced 7 or 8 months later at the Old Bailey, and she pleaded guilty, so there wasn't a trial, but she had to go through the whole story. I was standing there listening to her in the gallery. It was a very hard story to listen to, and the judge was amazing. He had compassion. He said that your story would move the hardest of hearts. He said a lot of things, and he gave her a year's conditional discharge, which meant that she didn't go to prison, and as long as she didn't do anything really naughty in the next year, she wouldn't go to prison. And the story was a big case. It was in the Daily Mail. This is the Daily Mail and the Times newspapers, and it was on the front page of the Daily Mirror. You've suffered enough, and that's what he said to her. You've suffered enough. She'd done lots of charity work. She'd supported my brothers. Even though she broke up with my dad before she knew about the illness, she took us to visit him all the time. She's very supportive. To be honest, I don't know how she hasn't had a breakdown. She's quite a strong woman. I'm a much more emotional and sensitive person than she is. But I'm sure there are many times when she has sat and cried. I don't know. Also, the biggest thing in my life now is that I have an attitude of gratitude, and I always find something every day to be grateful for. And this has helped me a lot. So, this was the question, what was I going to do now? I didn't want to waste my life, because I've been given my life. My brother died, my other brother Philip died in 2008 when he was 48, and he died of the natural progression of the disease.